This is Frank Turner, and you're listening to Six Towns Radio.
Okay, Frank Turner, how is it going, sir?
I'm very well. I'm en route to start a UK tour, which is always a wonderful thing because I love touring the UK. So yes, in a good place.
Yes, UK tour at the moment then, Europe, the States. It's nice to see you as prolific as ever. No chance you're going to slow down then at the moment?
No plans to right now. I mean, never say never. Maybe in a year's time I'm going to suddenly decide that I want to settle down and become an accountant, but it seems unlikely to me somehow. I love playing shows, and it's such an amazing thing to have a job that means you basically play guitar and travel for a living. It makes me the luckiest guy in the world.
Yeah. Do you ever have to cancel? Has that ever happened?
Yeah, once or twice. You get sick on the road, and it's just an unavoidable part of life. And most of the time, you just soldier through, and it's not much fun, but you do it anyway. Once halfway through a gig, that was no fun at all. But yeah, most of the time, you soldier on.
You're back at Reading and Leeds this year, of course. You had a year break to play V. Was it important to have a break because you've been playing so many years at Reading?
I think it was more from their point of view than from mine. Do you know what I mean? The guys who run Reading and Leeds festivals have been really, really good to me over the years, and I love them very much. But they kind of said you've got to take a break. So yeah, went off and did V. Although I did actually then form another band, a side project called Mongrelhood, and we went and played Reading and Leeds instead. So I was there. But yeah, it's going to be great to be coming back in this year. I mean, I grew up going to Reading Festival. It's always been my sort of it's the festival where I feel most at home and I like the most. So I'm looking forward to going back again.
You said at V you felt like a fish out of water when we spoke, and you were going to bring a bit of punk to the festival. Do you think it worked?
Yeah, I think it did. I mean, I had a good time, and I think the crowd had a good time, and I've had a lot of people come up to me since then saying they saw the show and enjoyed it. But yeah, definitely, V's much less my comfort zone than Reading is. Reading, that's me at home kind of thing.
Yeah, but you looked very comfortable on stage, and I think the crowd really did embrace it, because you have got a mixture of fans there, and I think there was a lot of people who would buy Frank Turner records there, as well as, people who would buy pop and all that, so it was a bit of a mix.
Yeah. Something that's really important to me is that, I never want to be, selective about my audience or elitist about what I do in any way. Absolutely anybody from any walk of life is welcome to come to my shows and listen to my music, and because there are a couple of people who are a bit kind of I would never play V, and I'm not like that because people who go to V are just as much anyone who goes to any other festival or whatever.
You had a massage backstage, had your hair cut.
I did.
You're quite savvy to the old festival hospitality then.
Well, if it's free, I mean, the bottom line is it's not, this isn't the most lucrative way to make a living being a travelling musician. So if somebody's offering you a free haircut, I'm going to take it.
Totally. Well, you haven't got time to keep booking salon appointments, I suppose, because you're always on the road.
I'm going to confidently state now on the radio that I've never actually booked a salon appointment as such. I'm definitely more of a barber kind of guy,
Yeah, I was just putting it out there. I'm glad you answered that question for me. Let's talk Tape Deck Heart. It's out on the 22nd of April. Where does it sit along former Frank Turner albums, would you say?
Well, that's an interesting question. In terms of, overall, and particularly musically, hopefully it sort of sits at the top of the pile and sort of at the front of the queue, if you like. I like to think that as I go forward and I sort of change and evolve and hopefully get better, with practice and with age at songwriting, all that. It's a little bit bigger as a record, a little bit warmer sounding, all that kind of thing. Lyrically, it's a very, very sort of personal record. I mean, the last album I did was kind of about England, and it was about death, and it was quite a kind of, it was almost a little bit almost grandiose at times in terms of the themes it was dealing with, and this one's kind of the opposite of that in the sense it's very, very inward-looking, kind of intense personal record. In a way that occasionally makes me feel a bit uncomfortable because it's a very raw personal album, but art's not supposed to be comfortable, and I'm proud of it. I like it. I think it's a good album.
Now, you've got to be exposed, haven't you, if you're making music?
Yeah, that's at the end of the day, you've got to let the songs win the argument, and there are some moments once we'd finished recording them and we were sequencing the track listing for the record, where I was sort of thinking to myself, I'm not sure if I can really put this song on an album, but actually, it's a good song, so I went on and I'll suffer the consequences later. Yeah,
we've been playing Recovery, of course, the leading single off there, and it's gone down really well. You can buy a T-shirt bundle with the album I've seen. Is it ever right for a band or an artist to wear their own merchandise?
You know what? There is only one band in the world that is allowed to wear its own merchandise, and that is Iron Maiden. And they regularly do, and that's fine because they're Iron Maiden. They're the greatest metal band in the whole world. Aside from them, no, you can't wear your own merch. Actually, my flatmate wears a lot of my merch because I keep sort of getting if we do a new run of merch, the merch company will send me samples. But I'm not going to wear them myself, so my flatmate spends most all day every day wearing t-shirts and name on. And he looks great, I might add, as well.
Yeah, of course, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. You've got your name on it. Last year was massive for you, of course, because the Wembley gig and the Olympics opening ceremony as well. Yeah. Which was bigger for you?
You know, for me personally, I think the Wembley show was a bigger deal because that was something, you know, it was sort of my show, you know, it was something me and my band and my crew. I mean, I think, you know, the Olympic thing was massive and was really odd and surreal and definitely like, you know, a unique experience and all the rest of it. And I'm sure it didn't do my career any harm. But it was, you know, I was a small part of a much bigger thing that day, which is absolutely fine and it's cool and it's very flattering to be part of it at all. But the Wembley show was much more kind of like my day, you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. And I liked on the Olympics ceremony that you brought in label mates from Xtra Mile, like Ben Morwood and Jim Lockie. Of course, the mates are yours, and they tour with you and all that. And, you know, I love Xtra Mile. It's a lovely little family. And every time I get a new artist from there and I speak to them, they all just say how much they like the other artists on there. Is it really like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's really like I love Xtra Mile, and I've actually just re-signed with them for like another 4 records. They're my. I mean, in terms of people who work the label, that, you know, it's a small group of people. They're like family, and yeah, and all the bands. I mean, I'll take a little bit of generally kind of if there's a band that I like or that I'm friends with, I'll throw them towards Xtra Mile and see if we can work something out. But yeah, it's you know, it's a really good vibe. I think everybody. It's just simple, and it shouldn't be difficult to have a label like this because all it is just bands, people who like good music and bands who play good music, just kind of being honest about how they present things, you know. And it is kind of a family in the scene now, and I really like that.
Yeah, my favourite new artist from there has got to be Beans on Toast Jay. He's a good lad, and I do like his music. Yeah, I've got some very quick listener questions for you, so just quick responses to them, and then we're done, mate.
Hit me.
Okay, the first one, Titanic Brewery, which is local to Stoke, have told me that you've got a beer out called Believe Beer. How did that happen?
Well, basically, I got an email from an independent brewery saying, would you like to have your own beer? And being a man, and an English man, I went, hell yes, absolutely. And yeah, so I kind of helped design the beer with the brewers, and we put it out kind of end of last year, but we're actually still keeping it going because people keep buying it. So yes, you can get a beer with my name on it.
Yeah, they've invited me down for a tasting tomorrow. I might go before the gig. That'd be quite cool.
You should.
Ian Bailey has asked, have you been approached for Glastonbury?
Not this year, unfortunately. It's funny. I get the way that kind of festival booking and stuff like that works is that generally the festivals ask the bands rather than the bands asking the festivals. You know what I mean? And for whatever reason, we didn't get the call from BAFTA this year. It's a shame, but I'm playing lots of other festivals, so there it is.
Look on your website; there's just Gig City on there and festivals.
Yeah, got to keep myself out of trouble.
Martin Hansen from Sweden has asked, will there be a Frank Turner flag for the Europe tour?
Oh yeah, right. Okay. Well, basically, what we're doing is we've made up this flag, and we're trying to get it to go around all of the shows on the UK tour, using just kind of people coming to the shows. And it's obviously it's a bit of fun, but I mean, if it's just kind of proving that, you know, people who are strangers can come together and actually achieve something working together, you know, and it's kind of a nice little thing to kind of get people to have conversations with strangers and people they don't know. I like that, you know, I think that's a good thing. I think we're doing it around the UK. I've got a feeling we are doing it around Europe as well, although don't hold me to that because it might not be true.
You'll be there, yeah, Martin, at one of the gigs waiting for you.
Okay, excellent.
Paddy has asked vocal influences, who and what style? That could go on forever, couldn't it, really? So just in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, I mean, listening to folk music has been, in my life, a comparatively recent thing, but I certainly, in terms of English folk music, I love stuff like, you know, Richard Thompson, Fairport Convention, Bert Jansch, that kind of thing, Martin Carthy, Liza Carthy, love all of that kind of stuff, you know. It's a great great band for sort of introducing you to the tradition as well as having their own songs. I should also mention John Bowden and Bellowhead, who are a fantastic band, and I would say friends of mine as well. Good stuff.
The final listener question is from Espy. She wants to know when you're going to play Stoke again. I suppose that's difficult, isn't it? Because you never know where you're going to be at any one time. But I think she's trying to say when you're going to play small venues again.
Well, I can hopefully answer both questions. I will definitely play Stoke again in my lifetime and as soon as possible, really. I mean, the thing is, the problem that I have right now, I prefer, and on balance, I think I prefer playing at smaller venues, but at the same time, I have a duty, I feel, to present what I do in such a way that it's accessible for everybody. And if I just play smaller venues, they have a habit of selling out very quickly, and lots of people who want to come can't come to the shows, you know, and that bothers me because I don't want people to be excluded, because when I was a kid, I wasn't the kind of kid who would get tickets to exclusive sold-out shows, you know. So at the moment, for the time being, because things are going well, it means that I will be playing some larger venues because I want everyone to be able to get in. I've got no intention of stopping touring, and I probably won't be cool anymore in 5 years' time, and I'll be back to playing small venues again. weekend, so everybody will win.
Everyone will win, definitely. You probably haven't been asked this. I know you've done a few interviews today, but I've been nominated for a Sony Golden Headphones Awards, and I'm up against some big names. And as a small independent radio station that we are, Six Towns, would you like to back my campaign?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, if you email me the link, I will put it out on my Twitter and stuff like that, and I will get right behind it.
That is brilliant. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure. This is interview number 3 of probably 80, I reckon. You take care, mate.
Always a pleasure, man. Yeah.
Have a great day, mate. You enjoy the tour. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Come on, take it easy. All right, see you later. Bye.